Amed's got some amazing beaches, but what's the south end really like? Today we explore Lipah and find out exactly how much there is to do south of Amed. So on the right hand side of Lipah Beach you'll find some signage that says to the beach. Turn there, it's about a minute and a half walk and you're at the beach. When you get to the beach, first thing you're going to do is get a few people come up to you, sun loungers, $5 a sun lounger, 50,000 Indonesian rupiah, or 2 people, 1 umbrella for $10. So let's get to why we're here, let's get down to the beach. So as you get down here, there's a small little warung, doesn't seem open much, but you just cut through that, and that brings you straight down to the jukungs and out onto the beach. Normally quite flat here. Little bit of a shore breaker, but good swimming, and it does seem to have quite large low tides and high tides. So at the moment we're here on high tide. I'm just going to walk up to the end. We'll start from one end, make our way back down the other. There's not many people here at the moment, but you can see where you've got all your loungers all ready for hire. So with the full high tide, a bit hard to get there at the moment, but there is actually, you can see it just on the cliff face there, a nice little warung that does good sunsets, and in behind where those 2 people are, there's a good warung, probably the best one for food on the beach, called Vienna. I'll stop at those on the way up when I do the road. You can also see Vienna here. What they've done is they've put some little poles out that in low tide, or even high tide, you can walk through the poles, and that way you're not disturbing the coastal reef as you go out to snorkel further out. So we'll head for a walk down the beach and let's see what Lipah is all about. I kept saying Lipah to start with, but I've asked some locals and it's definitely Lipah Beach. Let's go have a look at Lipah. Like all the beaches on this east coast, the Amed coast, the south to Soraya, it's full of jukungs, the fishing boats. You can get them here a lot more for snorkeling trips, but still most are predominantly used for fishing. One thing you'll notice here now that you're at Lipah Beach is you're back on the black volcanic sand. Doesn't look a great deal from the beach, but this is mahi-mahi. And when you go in there, the food is actually quite outstanding. For us, it was one of the best of 3 warungs on the beach. Mahi-mahi is connected to the Coral View Villas, and in my opinion, the best restaurant and also the best resort. There is some really nice accommodation on the beachfront, and that's the difference you can get here, where you can stay on the beachfront, or you can also stay up in the hills, which gives you a completely different experience. The beach experience gives you, well, yeah, naturally the beach, but up in the hills you seem to see a bit more of life, people working on the hills, people coming and going, roosters, dogs, all that type of stuff. So you can definitely see the black sand today, and it is a bit of a dip in between waves on the high tide. So the thing I've found with Lipah Beach is on that right hand side, lots of lounges, lots of sails, better snorkeling as well. But if you come down to the left end edge, there's a little beach there, no lounges, just lay on the beach, free beach. So you get a bit of options of both. And that's it down this end, just quite a beach, a lot more relaxed, get it pretty much to yourself most of the time. The beachside restaurant has uninterrupted views of the ocean. Breakfast, lunch or dinner looks like the perfect place, just a while away, a couple of hours. And another favourite of ours is Warung Indah. Now they have one on the street at the shop and also one on the beach, which is about $1 dearer per item. It's very good food and it's probably the best cheap warung you'll get in town. So this episode's going to be one of 3. What I'm looking at doing is Amed South from Lipah Beach down to say the Japanese Wreck, the middle Jemeluk, and then we'll do Amed and Amed Malasti. That way you can have a look at the 3 main areas of Amed if you're looking at staying here, and it hopefully will give you a bit of an idea of where to stay, what to visit. So walking down the street, going here's a shop, here's a restaurant, not normally my thing, but because these are small little tourist areas, I thought I'd just do a quick street walk. Start from the right hand side. There is a couple up on the cliff top I'll finish up with tonight because they're good for sunsets. But this is Warung Agung, and this is the only place you can really come to see a live music performance. The wife cooks, husband plays guitar, usually from 7 till 9. So it's a quick night, but it is a place to go if you want some music. I pointed out before the Indah Warung, and this is the Indah shop, which serves the same food, but just on the street. In here, this is where we've been getting lunch every day. It's a great kitchen and they cook really good food. Puggy! I'll see you for lunch. So really good warung, great people, cheap food, can't beat it. That's where we are next door at 111 Villas 2. Cafe People further down, really good for breakfast, does a really good Western breakfast and also has nice Indonesian food. So when you see Coral Views Villas, that's where you've got the Mahi Mahi restaurant, so you can access it from this side and you can also access from the beach. You can see through this entranceway how Lipah Beach backs onto the hillside, like most of the towns do on the Amed coast. There's not as many dive shops down this end of town as you get in Jemeluk and Amed town, but they are definitely down here. Easy to miss the signage, but the entry for Warung Indah, but it can also go from the beach. This is Hidden Paradise Cottages and we're going to go there tonight, so I'll show you the beachside restaurant. So the plan now, head over the next cove, over the next hill and get to, I believe is Bintang or Bintang Beach. As you start getting round to Bintang Beach, things start to get a bit more simpler. It's more rural, there's more of a village lifestyle. It's a lot more real Bali on this side as you go around that Soraya coastline. I just found a little cut through to the beach, so I thought I'd go for a walk and see what I could find down here. See if this does actually take me to the beach. A few chooks. I think this is a pretty good way to get through to the beach. Quite a nice building. Looks sort of half temple, half livable area. So from my maps, this is called Bintang Beach, but it's also called Bintang Beach. So I'd say Bima's the traditional name and Bintang's probably something that's picked up from tourists over the years. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's my take. Lots of jukungs, the fishing boats here. And this brings you out to the beach. So once again, no tourists here, not seeing anybody. You could pretty much have this beach to yourself, I think. This is another beach that backs back onto the mountains, and that small little village road just cutting through it. Okay, so that was what I think was Bintang. So let's head over the next cove, see what's on the next hill, what beach is there, what we can find next. This is absolutely amazing. I love these palm trees looking back over the hills. The good thing with Amed is you've got so many choices. The weather's usually a lot better here. You've got a nice coastal breeze, but any rain you seem to have in Bali gets stopped by a gung, by Mount Soraya. That can be a good thing and bad thing, I suppose. It's good for us tourists, warm weather, but you know, they do lack a bit of water on this side sometimes. But all in all, if you haven't been to Amed and you think you've been to Bali, you haven't been to Bali. So I can think of worse places to stop for lunch. I'm at Stop Point Warung, and I've just got a Nasi Goreng for 40,000 Indonesian rupiah, $4. Just sitting here looking down at the beach. Not a bad place. As you go along the coast, there is a lot of these little warungs spread along the beaches. Nice, easy, simple meals. What I would call beach food. That's pretty good. After here we've got Selang, Ibus, and then the Japanese wreck. And hopefully the weather stays like this, although the wind is picking up a little bit. So I've just got onto the ridge of the next cove, and that's Selang Beach. And here it seems like there's a lot of accommodation and villas on the cliff face, looking down to the beach. So a bit hard to get down. So what I've done, I've put the drone up, and let's have a look at Selang Beach. And we'll just hope that this wind doesn't get any worse, because it has picked up now. Well, I've just arrived at the Japanese Shipwreck, the car park, so I'll head down to the beach and let's have a look at what's here. So at the entrance to the Japanese Shipwreck, there's a couple of ladies sitting at the entrance asking for money to go onto the beach, but heaps of other places down the beach with stairs, with access through resorts, that you can just walk straight onto the beach. Not a bad beach. They're very similar to all the other beaches, with the exception to this one that you've got a wreck to go diving or snorkeling on. Also, this beach is a little bit different, where it is completely pebbles or larger boulders, as opposed to the volcanic sand of the beaches further north of it. And there's a couple of places I thought I'd return to tonight. One is Warung Asri, and then next door you got the Vienna restaurant, bar, and I think it's a resort. So Warung Asri, it's at the top of the hill on the right hand side, and for me it's the perfect place for sundowners. And every time I've been there, there's not many people there, and I can't work out why, because it's a really good spot, serves cold beer, does cocktails, and has a fantastic view out into the water and out to where the sun sets. So I couldn't get a better way to finish the weekend. It's a Friday afternoon, it's the end of a work week. Don't laugh, it is a job. But this is the perfect place to watch the sunset. Lipah Beach, I think it's one you should check out. Well, this is the last of our three choices, the Vienna Beach Resort. And if you've only got one night to stay here, breakfast, lunch or dinner, this would be my pick. Fantastic food, great outlook, staff, perfect. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing Lipah Beach and all of the southern beaches around the Soraya coastline. Next week we're off to Amed, the main tourist area, and also Jemeluk Bay. I've dropped a whole heap of accommodation links down in the descriptions so you can have a look at accommodation here and also the pricing. See you next week.